Okay, so good morning. I believe today is October 1st, but I made these videos all in September, beginning of September, August. So the dates might be off. And the topic is 1/6 angle relationship. So you put the date and the topic in the upper right-hand corner, set up your lines for your Cornell notes. Then you're going to go ahead and write EQ or essential question and highlight it. And when the essential question is, how do different types of angles fit together? How do different types of angles fit together? Our learning target, 1H. I can use my knowledge of angle relationships, which we talked about last section in 1.5, and algebra to find missing angles. Now all of this here, before you're like, why am I writing this down? This is all review. I just put this up here. But you should already have it in your notes from section 1.5, so you do not have to copy. So don't copy unless you really want to. But just as a refresher, acute less than 90, right angle exactly 90 has the little box, obtuse angle between 90 and 180, and a straight angle is a line, and it's exactly 180 degrees. Okay, here's some new vocabulary words, so you do need to write these and copy these. So your first vocabulary word is complementary angles. Complementary, spelled different than the word complement. And they are angles that sum to 90 degrees. So I drew a picture, an example to you. Here's the example. It's a 60 and a 30 degree angle because 60 plus 30 adds to 90. So it could be 10 and 80, 20 and 70. Also, you can have like 3 complementary angles. So I could have 30, 30, 30. That would still be complementary. So it doesn't have to be 2 angles. Okay, I could have 9, 10 degree angles, just angles that sum to 90. Complementary, the way I remember it too, I underlined in red from last year, the C. I always think complementary starts with a C at a corner, complement corner, C and C makes that 90 degree angle. Okay, our next one is supplemental angles or linear pair. And I do want you to write down both supplementary, and I underline the S because I always think supplement straight line, supplement straight line, or a linear pair. So that would be angles that sum to 180 degrees. So I drew an example of 130 and 50, but again, it could be 180, 120 and 60, okay, 150 and 30, and it could be 3, 4, 5 angles that add to 180. All right, our next vocabulary word is called vertical angles, and they are congruent or equal in size. This is the congruent symbol, equal sign with an S. So they're congruent or equal, and they are opposite or across from each other. So in this diagram, the red angles, 50 and 50, they are vertical angles. They are opposite, and they are the same size. Okay. In these X diagrams with 2 lines, you have 2 sets of vertical angles. The 130s, those are also vertical, opposite, and they are also congruent. Notice, too, they are the non-vertical angles, the adjacent angles, are supplementary. 130 and 50 add up to 180 because they are on a line. So you're always going to get a pattern like that. And you'll see that more in the examples as well. The last vocabulary word, adjacent angles, they're next to each other. Adjacent means next to, and they share a vertex. So in this diagram here, 1 and 2 are adjacent. 2 and 3 are also adjacent. 1 and 3 are not adjacent. All right, let's get into some examples. So you can put EX. If your hand is getting tired, highlight this section. Pause the video, write down problem 1, find X, Y, and Z, draw the diagram. Write down number 2, find the measure of angle Cobb with X and 38, draw that diagram. All right, so in example 1, I'm going to start with angle Y. Angle Y and 76, these are opposite, these are vertical angles. So they should be congruent, 76 degrees and 76 degrees. Okay. So I have those are vertical, that's how I got 76 and 76. Now let's go to Z. Z and 76 are on a straight line. Remember, every line has 180 degrees. So I'm going to do 180 minus 76 to figure out what's missing. So I get 104 degrees. So Z is 104 degrees. X is also 104 degrees because they are vertical angles, they are congruent. Okay. All right, number 2. Find the measure of angle Cobb. Hopefully you're thinking this is a line or a line segment. We're not quite sure. So they are a linear pair. They are supplementary, X and 38. They add up to 180. So to find X, I just subtract from 180. And I get 142 degrees for my answer. Okay. All right, number 3 is just showing you some problems without a diagram. So you can abbreviate a little bit, but you should have the problems copied down for 3A and 3B. So angle A is 41 degrees. Find its complement. Complement corner C and C. So you do need to kind of memorize that. That means they add up to 90. So 90 minus 41. And you can use a calculator. Okay, I'm going to get 49 degrees. All right, part B, angle B is 13 degrees. Find its supplement. S supplement is 180. So you're going to do 180 minus 13. 167 degrees would be the supplement. Okay, so just remember complement adds to 90. Supplement adds to 180. All right, we're cruising through the examples. Here, we're going to add in some algebra, make it a little bit more complicated. Find the value of X and all 4 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can even number them if we want to. So first of all, these 2 angles, 8x minus 2, angles 4 and angle 2, they are vertical angles. So they are congruent. They are congruent. They are equal in size, so I'm going to set my 2 expressions equal to each other. And I'm going to go ahead and solve. So pause the video. Hopefully you can get this whole problem from here, but I will walk through it. Solve for x. I'm going to minus 6x minus 6x. If you did something else first, that's fine. 8 minus 6 is 2. I'm going to add 2. I get 20 equals 2x. And x is 10. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and come over here. So 8x minus 2, to find the measure of my angles, I'm going to plug in 10 for x. So 8 times 10 is 80, minus 2 is 78 degrees for angle 2. Now this should be the same. 6x plus 18 should be 78. Let's just check. 6 times 10 is 60, plus 18 is 78 degrees. Any thoughts that are coming to you about how to find angle 1 and angle 3? Hopefully you're thinking this is a line. They are a linear pair. They're supplementary. So we're going to do 180 minus 78. So we get 102. So these 2 angles are 102. Okay, so we have 102 for the top and bottom angle. Maybe I'll just highlight this because it's hard to see. 102, 102, and on the side we have 78 and 78. So anytime you have 2 lines making an X, you're going to have a pattern like this. You're going to have 2 sets of congruent vertical angles, and the adjacent angles will be supplementary or add up to 180. So it will all fit together like a puzzle. It is so beautiful. Why I love